It's weekdays with Lee Dixon, and this time of the week, like to check in with Craig Heppel at Ulverston Real Estate. He's our real estate guru here on weekdays. Good morning. How are you, mate?
Good morning, Lee, and happy Easter ahead for you and everyone out there.
Absolutely. Hope you get a couple of days off as well.
I'm doing my best to make sure that happens.
Very good. Okay. Today's topic is the anatomy of a contract, which I'm sure you know the ins and outs of, mate, with your years of experience.
Yes, I do, and even though we do need lawyers either side of the fence, good agents need to have a real grip of how they work.
Right. Now, the obvious purpose of putting your house on the market is to sell it, right?
That's the whole aim.
Pretty simple, isn't it?
There's no other reason to put your house on the market.
Yep.
So when we get to that point, the next thing we need is an offer, and once you've accepted a buyer's offer to secure the sale, a legally binding contract must be executed. And I can explain that a bit further if you like.
Okay, go for it.
So by that I mean an industry and legally accepted document stating all the agreed conditions between buyer and seller, the agreed price and settlement date, which is signed by both parties, witnessed and dated. And both parties really should be represented by either a conveyancer or a lawyer to ensure the contract conditions and significant dates are adhered to by both parties. That's really important stuff.
Mate, so what are the main components of a legally binding contract?
Okay, first of all, the biggie, there's no hugging or handshakes until price is agreed on.
Right.
And this is the key component. No matter what conditions each party requires, the price is the big deal to be agreed upon before anything's done.
Okay.
So the next part of it are the conditions of the contract. These are generally required by the buyer, and until they are satisfied or ticked off, the contract and sale won't proceed through to settlement.
So we've kind of touched on this in the past. What are the most common conditions?
Number one is finance. So this means the buyer is borrowing money from a financial institution, bank, that is, and they need the bank to fully approve the loan before they can lock in the deal. So at the moment, most banks require around 21 days from the contract date to complete their checks and balances to approve the buyer's loan, usually including sending a certified valuer to the property being purchased to ensure the price agreed is an accurate reflection of current market value.
Right.
That's one that a lot of people get a little bit confused or don't know a lot about. The valuer is there on behalf of the bank to ensure the contract price sits with market conditions.
And that's a bit of a safety net for the banks as well who are lending the money, right?
That's it. So once the valuer's report indicates the contract is within market conditions and the bank gives full approval on the loan, the condition of finance is then deemed to be satisfied.
Right.
That's a condition ticked off.
Yep.
So the next most common condition is a building inspection. And that's at the buyer's expense. They hire an independent licensed building inspector to look over the dwelling or property to see if there are any flaws, issues, or required repairs to the structure. In short, is the property structurally sound? Normally, the inspection and report should be completed within 14 days of the contract date.
Okay.
So should the inspector find a substantial issue or issues, the buyer can either ask for a repair to be carried out or the issue to be rectified by the seller. The buyer might even ask for a discount on the original agreed price, or if the issue is overwhelming, leave the contract without penalty.
Okay, hence being a condition, if that's not satisfied or met, you can then renegotiate or forfeit the contract, right?
100%, and the buyer can get their deposit back.
Yeah, cool.
So here's a huge tip, and I want anyone that's listening to this and you're thinking about selling, this is a big tip. If you know there's any issue that needs attention in or around your home, get it sorted before you hit the market, or declare the issue to all buyers and be prepared to accept a price that reflects the nature of the potential required repairs.
Yeah, and this negotiation process, it can be quite easy, and you shouldn't be afraid to ask for things to be rectified or for further information, should you?
No, of course. If a building, on behalf of a buyer, if the building inspector brings up an issue with the property, discuss it. What can be done to rectify it? What can be done to make me feel comfortable to move on as a buyer with the deal?
So once those kind of conditions are ticked off, are we going unconditional yet?
That's it. So if this particular contract we're talking about is finance and building inspection, and both of them are thumbs up, you're unconditional. So then you're basically just waiting for settlement day to come around.
Right, and that was obviously agreed upon when you first entered into the contract.
That's right. Normally settlement date's agreed upon at the once price and condition. Okay, what day do you, Mr. Buyer, want to settle? And Mr. and Mrs. Seller, are you comfortable with that date to settle on the property?
Yeah, right.
So there can be other types of slightly more complicated conditions in a contract, but I think we might go across and through them in some future episodes.
Sounds like a good plan to me, mate. We'll do that after Easter. You've got a quote for us you want to end on today?
Here's a quote for Easter to ponder on. Nothing happens in real estate until someone makes an offer.
I love it, and that almost goes with anything's for sale at a price.
That's right. If the price is right, you'll be inundated.
All right. Nothing happens in real estate until someone makes an offer. Love it. We'll end on that. Happy Easter to you and yours, and we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, Lee. Talk soon.